In this video, I redesigned the Eeveelutions because let's face it, some of them are mid, and yes, I'm talking about Flareon. Flareon.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch ass motherfucker.
So for those of you who don't know, this is the second video in a two-part series where I redesigned the Eeveelutions. In the last video, I redesigned these Eeveelutions. If you haven't already, please check out that video before you watch this one. Anyway, let's get started on redesigning some more Eeveelutions. First up, I'll be redesigning Umbreon. Now, Umbreon is the dark type evolution. Let's start off by talking about what I don't like about Umbreon's original design. First things first, I don't really think Umbreon feels like a dark type Pokemon. I think this is just because most dark type Pokemon are very like beastly and like furry and have like sharp claws, big teeth, stuff like that. But Umbreon doesn't really look like that. Umbreon's less furry and more sleeked out, and I really feel like that doesn't fit the dark type aesthetic. Also, Umbreon's got a lot of yellow patterns on it for some reason. I don't know if this is meant to like symbolize the moon or something. I just feel like dark type Pokemon, I prefer dark type Pokemon with like dark purple or red or stuff like that. Definitely not yellow. I don't feel like that fits. So anyway, here are the two designs I came up with. Okay, so the first thing you might notice about these redesigns is I made their tails into hands. I did this because when I was looking at references for dark type Pokemon, I found this little guy that someone made, and they had a hand for their tail, and I thought that was a really cool idea, so I wanted to implement that. So yeah, that's why they've got hands for tails. I don't know, I really like the idea for some reason. I feel like it fits the dark type aesthetic. But other than that, both these designs I made, I definitely tried to make them furrier because I feel like that's, as I've touched on before, that's what a lot of dark type Pokemon have. They've got a lot of fur and stuff like that. With the design on the left, you can probably tell I didn't add any other colors other than gray and like black to just test out what that would look like with a dark type Pokemon. And I also gave it bangs over its eyes. I don't know why. Maybe it's like mysterious that it's hiding its eyes. It's also very cute. I like it. I don't know if it fits the dark type Pokemon vibe, but I think it's pretty cool. And the other one, you can definitely tell I made it a lot more purpley because I feel like purple is definitely a dark type Pokemon color. Like there's probably a bunch of dark type Pokemon with purple, and then you can throw one up on screen now, editor, if you want. You can also see that instead of giving it the average Eevee mane or fluff around its neck, I turned its fluff into like a cloak. That's a cool idea. I also gave it a slightly different hairstyle than the other design, and I also made their eyes yellow. Wait a minute, didn't I just talk about how I didn't like yellow? Doesn't matter. Spoilers, I didn't pick that design. I ended up choosing the design on the left, just because I feel like I like the design. I like it a lot more. It's a lot more cuter. I don't really like the cloak idea. I feel like maybe it's a good idea, I just didn't pull it off well in the design. And also the other design it was kind of reminding me too much of Zorua, so I didn't really want to copy another Pokemon design. So yeah, this is the design I chose. I really like the tail idea. I thought that was awesome. And also, I didn't talk about this before, but I made its ears look like little horns, like little devil horns, because dark type and evil and all that. And yeah, so this is how the final design turned out. And yeah, I really like how this design turned out. I feel like it definitely fits the dark type aesthetic more than the original, with a lot more fluff and fur and stuff like that. Also really love the hand tail idea. I don't know why, I just feel like it really fits the dark type Pokemon. And also the hair over the eyes. I just like that as a final touch. It's very cute. Anyway, up next, I'll be redesigning Espeon. Now, I do not like Espeon's original design. I think it's definitely too boring. I don't like the shade of pink used. The tail, what even is this tail? It's just a tail with two bits at the end. It's really weird. And I do like the idea that it's got a little bead or gem on its head. Other than that, I don't like the design. Here are the redesigns that I came up with. First up, let's talk about the design on the left. Now, there's a couple things you might notice right away. Biggest is that it's got a bunch of hoops around it. Now, I was looking up psychic type Pokemon and I found Hooper, and Hooper Koopa's motif is that they've got like some magician's rings, and I really like that idea. So I wanted this evolution, the psychic type evolution, to have a bunch of magician's rings that it uses. I feel like that really fits the psychic type for some reason. Other than that, I made it completely white, and instead of giving it normal ears, I gave it these like fleshy things. I think I was kind of inspired by Mewtwo, how Mewtwo's like mainly white and has like fleshy appendages or whatever. That's probably a bad way of explaining it, but that's how it turned out. Add a little pink in there because I think pink's a nice touch for psychic type Pokemon. And I decided to keep the gem thing that the original Espeon had, but turn it into a more rainbowy color, because I like that. It's better than just red. And the other idea on the right, this one's a bit more out of pocket, I guess. Some of you might be able to tell, but I was really inspired by Ultra Necrozema. Is that how you say it? Probably pronouncing that wrong. With all like the angelic stuff and the glowy yellow and stuff like that. I don't actually really like this design. I feel like it feels more like a mythical Pokemon than an Eeveelution. It's just way too edgy and stuff like that. So obviously I ended up choosing the design on the left because I liked it more than the other one. I think it's probably because the Magician's Ring idea, I really like that idea for a psychic type Pokemon, because maybe it can like shoot these rings out and fight with them, like control them with their mind. That definitely feels like a psychic type thing to do. Also, other than that, it's just a really cute design, and yeah, here's how it turned out. So yeah, that's the final redesign for Espeon. I really like it. I don't know if you guys will, but I think it's really cute, and yeah. Up next, I'll be redesigning Leafeon. Now, I actually think Leafeon is a really good design. I didn't really know what I should change about it to make it better. I think my main problem with the original is its colors. Bit too much yellow in this design instead of green, and the green they did use is a bit more turquoise than green. Yeah, here are the redesigns I came up with. So you can probably tell that for these redesigns, I really just focused on including the color green more because it's a grass type, and grass types are green. So let's start off with talking about the design on the left. Now, the design on the left, obviously, it's got green skin now. It's got this little wooden mask and wooden claws. I thought, I haven't seen many grass type Pokemon include like wood in their designs, and I wanted to try that. I think it turned out good. And I also gave it this little chameleon's tail because chameleons are probably like grass types, I think, probably. And the design on the right, a bit different. I showed the face, didn't cover it with a mask. And the design on the right, it's kind of similar to the one on the left. The main differences are instead of having fluff around its neck, it's just got a little tuft. There's no mask now, so you can see its face. And instead of having wood as like the motif, it's got a big flower tail. Like, I think for this flower tail, I was inspired by Ivysaur, because Ivysaur's got this huge flower thing on its back. So I wondered, what if I put it on its tail? So yeah, I ended up choosing the design on the right because I like the flower idea. I think the flower idea really fitted with the grass type. So yeah. Yeah, other than that, I think overall the design on the right was just a bit cuter, more Eevee-like than the one on the left. Especially because the chameleon tail was definitely throwing me off. I feel like that wasn't very Eevee-like. Yeah, here's how the final design turned out. And wow, yes, I like this design. I like how it turned out. Obviously, the flower idea, I think that's really cool to have a flower in a grass type Pokemon. And other than that, I think it's just a really cute Pokemon that I made. So yeah. And finally, we're going to be redesigning Sylveon. Sylveon is an incredibly well-designed Pokemon. I don't think anything I'm going to make is going to be better than its original, but we can try. So I ended up settling on, I wanted to change its colors from, I wanted to make its colors a bit darker instead of using white like the original Sylveon. And yeah, let's start off with the one on the left. Now you can probably tell, but this one's theme is wizard or witch or something like that, because I was looking up fairy Pokemon and I saw Hatterene, and Hatterene has a witch's hat, and I was like, wow, that's cool, a fairy Pokemon which motif is, it's a witch or wizard. I just think that was a cool idea, so I wanted to make this fairy type Eeveelutions theme like wizardy and stuff like that. You can tell I gave it a wizard hat. Its fur is a cloak. I tried the cloak idea earlier, didn't work. I feel like the cloak idea does work for this one. And its tail looks like a broomstick. The end of a broomstick. That's what I was going for. That's why its tail looks so weird. And the design on the right, it's a bit more basic, a bit less out there. It's kind of just wanted to use dark. I kind of just wanted to use a bit more darker pinks and no white in this design. Yeah, I think they both turned out really well, but I ended up choosing the design on the left just because I really like the idea of a wizard Eevee. I just think that's really cool. But yeah, as I said before, I made its fur into a hat and a wizard cloak, and I made its tail look like the broomstick that witches ride. You know, because witches ride broomsticks, and that's kind of on theme. So yeah, here's how the final design turned out. And yeah, I really didn't know how the Sylveon redesign would turn out, because Sylveon is already such a cool and well-designed Pokemon, but I really do like how my Sylveon redesign turned out. It's definitely going in a different direction than the original Sylveon, a bit more darker, and you know, witch themed obviously. But yeah, I really like it, I think it's cool. So there you have it. Now I've redesigned all 8 of the Eeveelutions. Personally, I think these ones turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? Do you prefer my designs or the originals? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. And if you want to see the first 4 Eeveelutions I redesigned, go ahead and check out the first video I made. Yeah, that's all. Bye!